Having trouble getting ideas? Or has this ever happened to you? Writing. Person. Hey, wait.
What?
Do you want to hear my story ideas?
Do I have to?
Yes, you do.
Fine. Were you inspired by anything?
No. All came from my noggin.
Really? This is an original story?
It all came from my brain.
This is an original story. This is a story about a boy who lives with his aunt and uncle and terrible cousin in a little room in their house. And one day he discovers he's magical. This is an original idea. This is an original idea. Really? There's no inspiration. No inspiration?
Okay, maybe I'll just take out the glasses. Well, you're not alone. This is the third video of my series of how to come up with ideas for your stories. Or at least how I come up with them, and I'm sharing them with y'all. And guess what? I only really have 3 ways today. I'm breaking away from my tradition of 5 ways because I wanted something different. So let's just jump right in. Today we're talking about how to get ideas from stories or other people's already made stories. And there's 3 different kinds that you can get it from. And I'll kind of smoosh another one into one category. But the first one, which is the most obvioso, is books. That's right, books. They're already made. They're already there. You can't tell me that you've never read a book and not been inspired. One of the things that I've done in the past is write the words that have already been written. I did this with Harry Potter and I did it with the Chronicles of Narnia, where I just wrote out all of the first chapter 1 of both books. Not at the same time because I'm not multi-talented or ambidextrous. But as I was doing that, it's interesting because you can get the style and the flow and you do get ideas for yourself. Another great channel that does this is actually linked down in the description below. And he's been doing it for a while, like just typing or writing in, I think, something by Steinbeck. Not 100% sure. Corrections will appear upon the screen. And he talked about his experience just typing out this book as like the book that he's chosen. And I can't remember which one it is, but it's also going to be there in his description. When I was doing this for myself, I really liked their styles. I liked the way that they were describing things. I liked how they saw things in the books. It's kind of funky, but like, as I was typing out words, because I'm a pantser, thoughts just kept hitting me as I was doing it. It was like, oh, hey, actually, there's a story in there based on this or this. I have like a whole notebook from just the first chapter of Harry Potter, which is my least favorite chapter out of the whole book series because I just don't like it. I don't know. I hated it when I first read it, and I don't like it now. But I pushed on through it. So, if it helps you, get into other people's stories and write the exact words they use. And then, as you're writing those words, pay attention to what thoughts and ideas come, either for the story you're working on or for future stories you could work on. And that's how that works. The second one is a lot more fun for you guys. The second way you can do this is through TV. Duh. How else were you going to get this done? TV/movies. Smooshing those together because they're turning into being the same thing right now. But let's take something like, I don't know, The Office. What I recommend doing is what Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. Blake Snyder's Save the Cat, not Jessica Brody's, Blake Snyder's, okay? Go to the original always. Is watching it and then looking to see where the inciting incident is. Like just trying to find the basic parts of this plot of each episode, each movie, and see if you can break it down. Because as I've been doing it, because I find that it's a very helpful exercise when you're stuck creatively. I don't usually get stuck creatively nowadays because I know that I am a pantser and it just comes to me. But when I do want to still be creative, that's what I do when I watch anything, any TV show. Take The Office. I love The Office, okay guys? Office or Parks and Rec. Just be like, how did they go from scene to scene? What is the storyline that's like running through? What are the characters' different arcs? Like there's I choose The Office and Parks and Rec specifically because it does go through many different arcs throughout the series, and that's kind of cool. The last thing that you can use, which is exciting very much because it's more of a new medium, and I will also smush other categories into it because it kind of fits the other category. The third and final way is video games / music / art. You can get ideas from anything, basically. You just got to get yourself surrounded in them and involved in them. And I chose video games first because they're so, like, you find a video game that you can immerse yourself in, you're in that story right away. And it grips you to the very, very end. Like when I was watching my cousin play this scary Japanese horror game that came out on Steam. It was scary. I had to sleep with a nightlight. But it gave me a lot of ideas for horror stories, which I have written down. And they're amazing, right? They just come to you. Once you prove to yourself, basically, that you're looking for ideas, your brain will start programming itself to like look for ideas. And like I keep saying, the ideas will come to you. Plus, video games are a lot of fun, okay? They are a lot of fun, and they're still a creative endeavor because you get to choose what the characters do, sometimes what they say, and how they fight. Because I only play RPGs. Those are the best. And the story does change depending on where they go, and it can light up a new idea or inspiration. With music is a lot easier and quicker, I would say, even though video game music is pretty popular. Certain songs stick out to you because they call up certain images, like whenever I listen to Swedish House Mafia or anything by Zed, I see whole movies in my mind. I don't see the music videos because I hate music videos. My mind just like opens up and it becomes instantly creative. It's the greatest thing. So if you need an idea for a scene or just need a whole story idea, pick a song and listen to it and just let your mind wander. And the ideas will come. Art is a little bit more trickier. It depends on what inspires you. So going to museum, looking at photographs. Sometimes an idea will just shout at you. For me, it's more like I get a story idea from a scene or like a place I see in photographs. And when it comes to like art, it's more like the feeling that comes from the art that hits me with a story idea. That's how I get it. But most of this stuff just hits you on the head.
Hey.
What?
Yeah, that's cool and everything, but like...
Yes?
What about for those people where the ideas don't just come? They don't just hit you in the brain. What about them?
I mean, you have to practice in order for this stuff to hit you in the head. I hope you guys know that. You have to practice.
Maybe you should explain that a little bit, like how to make this practical.
Okay. So maybe I'll explain that part. How you can start practicing. Let's go back through my examples. All right. The first example was of books, right? Getting into a book. You can be inspired by Harry Potter. You can write a story about a child, a boy or girl, that finds out that, hey, I'm actually a wizard. Boop, boop, boop. Should you do it exactly like J.K. Rowling? No. This is when you start deviating. Because technically, if you think about it, Star Wars is very similar to Harry Potter. Let me know in the comments below how you think it's similar, because it is very similar. You can put, if you want to stay in the fantasy genre, which is totally fine because you're finding out you're part of a magical world, you can set this in a different world, you can set this in a different land, you can make up stuff, you could set it, I guess you can just make up something that exists within this world, just like Harry Potter, or you can make up this world being like that. You can change who the character is, doesn't have to be a boy. Be like, how would this story have been told differently if it had been a girl? Because it would be different, guys. It'd be a very different story. How would this story be told differently if, like, she was set in a different continent, like South America, or Asia, or Australia, or, like, Africa, or the Middle East? Just start thinking, like, what if? Like, use what if, okay? Use the what if situation. Like, be like, what if this, and explore that, and out will come, like, stories. It might not be the story that you thought you were going to have, but, like, it'll be a story, and it can even be a better one, depending on you. Now we're going to the second one, for TV shows / movies. I get that many of us like to just be entertained, and that's fine. But when you're in, like, finding story mode, you're changing your mind. You're changing your status quo from mind dumbing to mind pumping. Now, most people are mind dumbing. You're just mindlessly watching TV for kicks and giggles because you had a hard day, because you just want to chillax. And that's cool. But if you're mind pumping, you're actually getting ideas from the TV. As you're writing about The Office or Parks and Rec, you suddenly, like, get an idea of, oh, wait a second, what is this? Can I change this? Yes, I can. For a TV show or a movie, you can set it differently. Here's a great idea. A great idea that anybody can take. I don't care if it's made into a movie, TV show. Actually, no, I do care if it's made into a movie or TV show. I think it would not work as a movie, but as a TV show, it's super watchable. Take The Office and then throw it into a different genre because it's already been thrown into horror where they do like that self-documentary thing. It's already done comedy and it's already done contemporary. And I think this would work so well. If you were to take The Office and throw it into like sci-fi or fantasy and just roll with it, especially sci-fi. Like I would watch that sci-fi show where you have like this documentary style and you have cutouts where you're talking to the crew members of like this show called something with Star, because you can base it off Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, Love Stars, or Galaxy, or something with the universe. The Star Quest. Something like that. I don't know. Just be creative, okay guys? And just do that and just like document. Maybe have the captain like not like being filmed as much, so the cameras just follow the crew members around. It's like a documentary series for the people who are left behind, for their families, to see like how this works, but it's really funny and hygiene-y, and it's like 24-hour stream. You can even throw in a bit of Doctor Who nonsense in there. I wouldn't mind. I feel like people would watch that so hardcore. Like you would get Star Trek people and you get Office people. And if you could like throw in the feels of Firefly, I feel like it would blow up. I feel like this is a very not used, underutilized thing in different genres. Please take it sci-fi. Please someone take this sci-fi idea. And the third thing, video games. Video games is probably the easiest one out of all of them. With video games, you can do a lot of things. The best thing you can do for getting ideas from the game for how it would apply is, one, actually pretend that you are the player in the game. That you're the one that's playing in the story, right? And you make decisions as if you were the one to do that, and you'd figure out why and what consequences would come because of that. Or if you don't want to do it that way, what you can do, and what lots of people have done, and you can do with the other two ways, both TV shows, movies, and books, is to write a fanfic where you just take the story in a different route. That's all you do, based on the choices you would make. As you take the story on this different route, you keep going. You don't stop. And you can change the characters around. If you can turn your story, like as you're writing the fanfic, if you're like, hey, what if I want all this other stuff to happen? That's fine. Make it happen. At the end of it, just be like, hey, does this have actual legs as a story? Yes. Or do people have to know the original story that it's based off of in order for people to get this story? And if the answer is no, well, it's your story now. Change it around, take out the names, and then sell it. That's exactly what the lady who wrote 50 Shades of Grey did. It was a fanfic for Twilight. All she had to do was really take out all the names from the characters in the book, like Edward and Bella, and I don't remember any of their names because I never read the book, but whatever. And then sell it, because people are willing to consume your story. Anywho, those are some practical ways you guys can start getting ideas and start practicing so that your brain will have ideas. So technically I had 6 tips in this video. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Are you happy now? Yeah, I think they get it now. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna leave because I've been here for too long and I'm hungry. Anyways, guys, join me next time as I continue to tell you guys how I come up with ideas so that you can come up with your own story ideas too. See you later. Ciao.